The time has now come to introduce Sebastien Faye. Sebastien is a 6G innovation line manager at LIST, the Luxembourg Institute of Science and Technology, where he is in charge of the activities related to future wireless communication systems. Early in his career, Sebastien started focusing on wireless sensors, vehicular networks, and the issues surrounding them, including network planning, design, and performance optimization. Over the years, he consolidated this expertise, opening the way for his current research on 5G and 6G networks. Sebastien's talk will focus on the what and why of 6G. We will hear about opportunities, challenges, and network capabilities, about the vision of 6G in Luxembourg and the roadmap to get there, and about the role of the research community in this context. Sebastien, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for the introduction. So indeed, I'm going to talk about 6G. There are quite a lot of topics that have been mentioned, so I hope I will have enough time to cover all of them. But, well, so one of the most important points, so today we are talking about 6G, right? And most of the time, you know, when I start presenting 6G in front of an audience, I usually see very big eyes, okay? I guess that, well, most of the people actually imagine things like this. This is a funny image I have generated yesterday. I mean, we have been talking a lot about you know, ChatGPT, DALL-E, and so on. So I'm not sure if it's really the representation of 6G I have in mind. Well, I see a lot of robots, drones everywhere. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's really technically, let's say, the right version of 6G I have in mind. So this is a bit the idea of today, let's say, to try to demystify a bit what is behind 6G, to try to explain why do we need 6G, why do we need all these generations, and what are the main applications behind 6G, let's say. So I guess the most important, at least on my side, is to start with these two plots. So these two plots have been generated by Ericsson and Nokia, so two of the most important network vendors worldwide. And what you can see there, it's more or less the evolution of mobile network data traffic generated worldwide. So what you can see is totally crazy. So if you, well, see what will happen in 2030, in both cases, if you compare these numbers to what was there in 2020, we are not talking about, I mean, a twofold or a threefold increase. We are talking about a tenfold increase of the mobile traffic data generated worldwide. So it's quite huge. And, well, this is one of the reasons why we need all these generations. Why do we need 6G? Why do we need today 5G? Because we need to accommodate this kind of demand, right? We need the new technologies to accommodate this. So, yeah, that's the main fact. So what is 6G? First of all, it's about providing extreme performances. Okay, this is quite obvious. This has been cited also before. When you compare to what 5G can compare, we are talking about a lower latency, we are talking about bigger data rates, we are talking about a lower energy, well, a better energy efficiency actually. So we are talking about quite a lot of performance indicators. This is the way 5G, the way 6G will come then in the market in a few years' time. But this is probably not the most important. So as you might imagine, if we want to cover all this increase in the data generated by our mobile devices, we also need a bit of intelligence. So this was a bit cited before, right? And this is what is cited there. So there are many, many technologies around 6G. Most of them are not standardized. The process is ongoing. So this is also why, as researchers, we are working on that. But one of the most important aspects is probably the integration of AI. So artificial intelligence is everywhere. I mean, you see these buzzwords a bit everywhere in the conference, I mean, in many papers and articles. But this is the reality, right? If we want to deploy these complex networks, we need more automation, we need more self-adaptation, and this is what will AI provide by being implemented at every layer of the future 6G systems. So this is one aspect. Then second aspect, so when we are talking about 6G, we are also talking about a network of networks, meaning that what is planned for 6G is basically to integrate more communication technologies to try to let's say, make the convergence between terrestrial and non-terrestrial networks, for instance, so that we can reach, well, areas that are not covered today with conventional 5G systems. And this is, again, quite exciting because, well, there we are in Luxembourg, we are quite covered. This is what has been presented at the beginning by my connectivity, not only in fiber, but also in mobile networking. But then if you switch to the worldwide situation, you need more of satellite communication, let's say. And then, of course, this will lead to new applications and services. So we have been talking for years about connected and automated mobility, about all these exciting applications, holographic communications, extended reality, 3D networking. I mean, we have so many things that are today available on the paper, but that we need to develop tomorrow. And I guess this kind of network will help us to develop these applications. So, of course, this is quite complex. There are many challenges. This is why we have research institutes in Luxembourg and worldwide to deal with these challenges. So probably the first challenge is related to AI. I mean, again, today I'm seeing AI everywhere, but this is not so much easy to, just implement AI, right? Having AI models means that you need to get data, you need to collect quite a lot of data, you need to train the models. Training the models imply that you have different computing systems, maybe distributed. So this involves computing resources, energy. This is super complex. So this is something that we need to deal with. And then maybe another challenge related to 6G, which is already there today with 5G, is basically the lack of business cases. So if you see what happened with 5G, this technology has been deployed initially in Luxembourg in 2018 and until now, right? But even with all these years, and I'm not only talking about Luxembourg, I'm also talking about the situation in Europe and worldwide, we are still facing difficulties in defining business cases, mainly because it took a bit of time for the technology to be understood, and I guess the different verticals, the mobility sector, the industry sector, I mean, this took a bit of time for them to fully understand the potential of 5G. So this is something that we need to take care of. It's good to push the technology, to push for all these exciting AI-based systems, but we need to make sure that this makes sense for the rest of the world, right? So this is what we are trying to do there. So just a few applications, because I guess you need to get a bit of energy from what we are doing there at least. So this is just an example of project that we have been on which we have been working the last few months. So basically today you do not have any connected and automated vehicle, in the street. So there the objective was just to showcase that thanks to advanced communication technologies like with 5G today, it's possible to take the control of a robot dog and then exchange a very high data rate in a very nice manner. So then you can imagine tomorrow that this robot could be replaced by a connected vehicle, by one of these autonomous shuttles that are currently operated in Belval. So this is one of the examples, that could lead to an interesting application in the future. And you can see there the Belval campus with sun, which is not happening all the days at the moment, but we were lucky today, I guess. So then just some other applications, just some other opportunities on which we are working to give you a bit of examples, of what these technologies can provide, these communication technologies can provide. So first of all, virtual and augmented reality. So there what you can see is a 3D model of the Belval campus. So you have all the buildings that are not necessarily all perfectly modeled, right? But this is enough to play with, this kind of headset. And then I guess you can imagine that if we have 5G or advanced communication systems, then the intelligence of, the virtual reality headset is not necessarily there in the headset. It can be outsourced to an edge node, for instance, or to a remote server. So this is one example of application. Then we have been working quite a bit with energy systems and the way to optimize, let's say, the exposure that all these technologies are generating. I'm just citing that because we have a booth, which is the P31 booth. So if you want to visit us, we have a super nice demo there showcasing that. And again, this is just showing the interest of collecting data and using this data in real systems so that you can make efficient decisions. And the last one, just to show a bit of what we are doing and what can be done with these new technologies, it's a bit of connected and automated mobility. Still taking the case of the shuttles, these autonomous shuttles in Belval that have been deployed by CFL recently. So we have, we are currently actively working with them so that we can exploit fully the potential of connectivity there and potentially then deploy this service at large scale in Luxembourg. Voilà, so if you are interested by all these topics, I know there are a lot of topics behind 6G, behind the applications that have been showcased. What I can advise is to follow this project. It's a recent project that started the 1st of January. So basically the European Commission has funded a few research projects around 6G to, let's say, to define the next generation architectures. And this project is one of the few that have been selected and funded. So we are very proud to coordinate it, both technically and from a pure managerial perspective. We have 11 partners there, and the idea will be really to try to make an impact on the definition of this next generation by providing concrete use cases and by working on different concepts. So for instance, one of these concepts is the network digital twin concept, which I will not detail too much there, but the idea is really to have, let's say, a copy of a digital copy of the physical network so that you can, test different scenarios before implementing them in the reality. We were also talking about AI, so this could be used as a way to train models, to generate artificial data. And yeah, we are at month 6 of the project at the moment, and I guess this can, again, generate quite a lot of benefits from the country, because again, the country can really has this ability to provide let's say the good, the nice scenarios, let's say, for this kind of project. So this is it. Well, this is probably the most important because you can find QR codes. I'm not sure, yeah, they're big enough, so that you can go on the LinkedIn page and then follow what we are doing in the project. And I guess that's it on my side. Thank you.